I'll be honest with you. I didn't see it coming. One evening, after a long day of errands and a family dinner, my daughter leaned in to hug me goodbye. She paused for a second, gave me a strange look, and then gently said, "Mum, have you been sweating a bit today?" I was mortified. I had showered that morning, put on my usual roll-on, even spritzed a little perfume behind the ears. I did everything I was supposed to do, but something still didn't feel fresh. I brushed it off at first. Maybe it was the weather. Maybe the shirt was synthetic, but it kept happening. A faint sourness like damp laundry left in the machine too long. Not overpowering, but just enough to make me self-conscious, especially around others. That's when I booked an appointment with my doctor. I expected a prescription or some kind of medical test, but instead she asked me a simple question. "What are you drinking during the day?" Drinking. I mean, what's that got to do with anything? Turns out a lot more than I realized. As we age, our metabolism slows, our hormones shift, and the way our body breaks things down begins to change. What didn't affect us at 35 can suddenly show up in our 60s. And one of the first places it can show up is in our scent. And that's how I found myself having a very serious conversation about my morning drink of choice. Now, don't get me wrong. I love coffee. I've been having it first thing in the morning for decades. That deep, comforting smell. The jolt of energy. It's a ritual. But it turns out coffee might be part of the problem. Here's why. Coffee is highly acidic. When you drink it on an empty stomach, which many of us do, it stimulates acid production and disrupts your gut environment. That imbalance can mess with digestion, which then affects the way your body processes what you eat for the rest of the day. And here's the kicker. All of that internal chaos, it can make its way out through your pores. The caffeine also dehydrates you, meaning your body has fewer fluids to flush out waste properly. So the sweat your body does produce ends up being more concentrated and smellier. And guess what I used to do? Wake up, brush my teeth, sip 2 strong mugs of black coffee, and nothing else until lunchtime. I thought I was being efficient. Turns out I was quietly setting myself up to smell like a stressed-out kettle. What I do now, I start with a full glass of water before my first sip of coffee. I eat something small, even a banana or a piece of toast, before drinking it. I limit it to 1 cup in the morning and switch to herbal tea after that. The difference, let's just say, no one's making awkward comments anymore. And if I'm honest, I feel better too. Less jittery, fewer digestive issues, and I even sleep better at night. But here's the thing. I thought coffee was the worst offender. I truly did. Until I looked at what I was drinking to stay healthy and found out it was making things even worse. Stick with me because next I'll show you the next 2 drinks that caught me off guard, including one I swore was keeping me young. Now, I'd already had my rude awakening with coffee. That was enough to make me pay attention. But what really knocked me sideways was what came next. You see, I'd always prided myself on being fairly health conscious. I took my supplements, ate my greens, and yes, I drank my so-called healthy drinks. You know the ones I mean. Those colorful, refreshing liquids that promise glowing skin, better digestion, or a youthful boost. Well, turns out 2 of my favorite drinks were quietly working against me. And when my doctor explained why, I nearly choked on my kale smoothie. I used to love a tall glass of orange juice in the morning, or a splash of apple juice in the afternoon. It felt wholesome, like something you'd give a child. Full of vitamins, right? Here's the problem. fruit juice, especially the ones you buy in cartons, is basically sugar in disguise. Even if the label says no added sugar, it's still packed with natural sugars, fructose and glucose, that hit your bloodstream fast. And here's what no one told me. When our bodies break down that much sugar, the excess gets processed by the liver and excreted in various ways, including through our sweat. That can result in a sour, almost vinegary smell, the kind that clings to clothing and makes you wonder if you've forgotten deodorant, even though you haven't. Plus, the acidity in juice, especially citrus, can throw off your gut's pH levels. And as I learned, in part 1, when your gut is off, your scent can follow suit. I used to think, oh, it's just juice. It's better than fizzy drinks. But a glass of juice can have as much sugar as a can of soda. What I do now, I swapped juice for infused water, slices of cucumber, lemon, or mint in a jug. If I'm craving sweetness, I eat a whole fruit instead of drinking it. The fiber helps slow down the sugar, and I've learned to really read labels. Natural doesn't always mean good for you. I noticed something incredible within a week of cutting out juice. My underarms smelled cleaner, my breath was fresher, and I felt less bloated too. But it was the next drink, the one I thought was saving my skin, that really surprised me. Now let me be clear, I'm not here to bash collagen. As older women, we do need more protein, and collagen can help with skin elasticity and joint health. I still use it, but wisely. Here's the mistake I made. I was mixing collagen powder with flavored protein drinks, or adding it to those beauty shakes from the health store. They tasted amazing. Chocolate, vanilla, berry. And I thought, if it tastes good and keeps my skin plump, win-win. But I didn't realize these drinks were often filled with sugar alcohols like erythritol or sorbitol, and sometimes artificial sweeteners like sucralose. These ingredients mess with gut bacteria, cause bloating, and yes, affect body odor. One doctor told me they can give off a slightly metallic or ammonia-like smell when broken down, especially if you're not drinking enough water to flush everything through. On top of that, too much protein without balancing it out with fiber. And water can lead to a buildup of nitrogen waste in the body. The result? A sweat that smells sharp, like sour milk or old gym socks. Attractive, right? What I do now, I still use collagen, but I mix it into plain Greek yogurt or homemade smoothies, not sugary pre-made drinks. I choose unflavored protein, powders, and sweeten them naturally with a few berries. And most importantly, I stay hydrated. For every protein drink I have, I follow with a glass of water. It's all about balance. Too much of anything, even the good stuff, can turn sour. Literally. By this point, I was beginning to realize that everything I thought was healthy needed a second look. And just when I thought I had it figured out, one final everyday drink came along and completely floored me. The kind of drink you probably sip thinking it's helping with digestion, when it's actually doing the opposite. Stick around for next part, where I reveal the one drink that tricked me into thinking it was cleansing my system, while it was quietly turning me musty. At this point, I'd given up my coffee crutch, reevaluated my juice habits, and gotten wise to my sneaky protein drinks. I felt like I had a good handle on things. Until one afternoon, sitting with my neighbor Sheila over a cup of herbal tea, I said, "At least this stuff's good for us." She looked over her glasses and said, "You know some of these herbal teas can mess with your body chemistry too, right?" Excuse me? Sheila, bless her, had just come back from a checkup with a holistic GP who told her that certain teas, especially the popular detox blends, can throw your system out of balance. And here I was thinking I was flushing out the bad stuff. Ow, don't get me wrong. Herbs have been used for centuries for healing and health. I love a calming chamomile or a good peppermint tea before bed. But the problem isn't with the herbs themselves. It's with how some detox teas are formulated and how often we drink them. These teas often contain laxatives like senna or cascara, along with strong diuretics like dandelion root. And when taken regularly, they don't just help you go. They can strip your gut of good bacteria, mess with hydration, and overstimulate your liver. Why does that matter for how you smell? Because your liver and gut play a huge role in eliminating toxins. When they're overwhelmed, or if you're running to the loo every few hours thanks to a flat belly cleanse, your body starts to push toxins out another way, your skin, and that can lead to an earthy, musky, even slightly sour smell that's hard to pin down. Not to mention when you're dehydrated from constant detoxing, your sweat becomes more concentrated and more pungent. For me, I was sipping a beauty cleanse, tea every night, thinking it would give me glowing skin and help with digestion. Instead, I was waking up with dry skin, a parched mouth, and a certain odor that clung to my nightdress no matter how often I washed it. What I do now, I limit detox teas to once in a blue moon and never drink them on consecutive days. I replaced daily cleansing teas with hydrating herbal blends. Think nettle, rooibos, or ginger. And I listen to my body. If something causes cramping, extra sweating, or strange smells, out it goes. Hydration is key, but not all liquids are created equal. Some dehydrate you without you even noticing. And that brings us to the fifth and final drink, the one I never suspected in a million years, even though I was drinking it with every meal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, sparkling water. Isn't that just water with bubbles? That's what I thought too. But here's where it gets sneaky. Many flavored sparkling waters, especially the zero-calorie ones, contain acidic additives and flavoring agents that can mess with your oral microbiome and your gut bacteria. The result? A slow shift in body chemistry. You might not notice it right away, but after a few weeks of sipping lemon-lime fizzy water all day, your breath can start smelling metallic, and your sweat might take on a slightly chemical or fermented smell, especially under your arms and behind your knees. Plus, carbonation itself can lead to bloating and gas, which can affect how your breath and skin smell from the inside out. For me, it started when I swapped out sodas for a trendy pink grapefruit. Sparkling water. It felt lighter, refreshing, even a bit posh. But after a month of 3 cans a day, I noticed something odd. My clothes started picking up a tangy scent after just a few hours of wear. My laundry didn't feel fresh anymore. And my husband, very gently, asked if I'd switched perfumes. Yikes, what I do now. I drink plain water most of the time. Boring? Maybe. But my skin, breath, and clothes thank me. If I want bubbles, I get unflavored sparkling water and add real citrus slices or fresh herbs myself. And I avoid artificial sweeteners or preservatives whenever I can. Because even if they don't make you fat, they can make you funky. So after all this, what did I learn? That what we drink is just as important as what we eat, and sometimes even more so. Because liquids go straight into our system, they can either support our natural detox processes or completely overwhelm them. But there's good news too. Once I made these changes, swapped the sneaky drinks for better choices, my natural scent improved. My skin felt clearer, My sweat didn't carry that faint sourness anymore, and I felt a whole lot more confident slipping into my clothes, knowing I wasn't leaving a trail behind me. Next, I'll share the habits I built around drinking smarter. Not just what I cut out, but what I added in, and the small daily steps that have helped me feel and smell fresher than I did in my 40s. Because, darling, aging is a blessing, but smelling sour? That's entirely optional. I never thought I'd be one of those people who said, I used to drink that, but now I don't. But here I am. After clearing out those 5 sneaky drinks, coffee overload, sugary fruit juices, protein shakes full of mystery ingredients, harsh detox teas, and overly flavored sparkling waters, I had to rebuild my daily drinking habits from scratch. And honestly, that was the best part. Because instead of just removing what wasn't working, I got the chance to add in things that do work. Things that help my body smell like me, only fresher, cleaner, and more balanced. In this last part, I'll walk you through what I drink now, the habits that help me stay fresh naturally, and how I figured out a routine that supports my health and my scent. Let's not overcomplicate things. Good hydration starts with water, not bubbly, not flavored, not disguised with natural essence, just real, plain, clean water. I started small. 1 glass before my morning tea, 1 glass before lunch, 1 in the afternoon when I'd usually reach for coffee. Suddenly, I was getting 5 to 6 glasses a day without even trying too hard. Here's what I noticed within a week. My sweat stopped smelling strong by mid-afternoon. I woke up with less of that weird morning breath. My underarms didn't need to be scrubbed raw in the shower. And it's not just about hydration. Water helps your kidneys and liver flush out the waste that otherwise comes through your skin. I also invested in a reusable water bottle I liked using. It sounds silly, but it makes a difference when it doesn't leak or taste like metal. Mine's glass with a silicone sleeve, and it makes me feel a bit fancy, even when I'm just sipping in the car. I still like a little something extra, especially in the warmer months. But instead of reaching for flavored waters, I started making my own infusions. Cucumber plus mint, great for cooling down and smells so clean. Lemon plus ginger, wakes you up, supports digestion. Strawberry plus basil, a little sweet, a little savory. Just pop the fruit or herbs into a big jug, let it chill in the fridge, and sip throughout the day. It hydrates you, supports digestion, and doesn't trigger any of the sour smells the artificial stuff used to. Also, the fact that I'm not sipping sugar or sweeteners all day helps my gut bacteria stay balanced, which has a huge impact on how you smell. I didn't quit herbal teas altogether. I just got smarter about them. Now I focus on blends that support digestion without acting like a laxative. Peppermint, fennel, ginger. Reduce stress, chamomile, tulsi, lemon balm, because stress sweat is the worst. Balance the body instead of shocking it with a cleanse. I drink them in the evening as part of my wind-down routine, and I always rotate because our bodies love variety. Bonus? They keep me away from snacking at night without dehydrating me like detox teas did. I haven't given up coffee forever. I just drink it differently now. 1 small, high-quality cup. In the morning, always with food. No more mega mugs on an empty stomach. Same with sparkling water. If I'm at a party or out to dinner, I'll order one. But it's occasional, not daily, and I always chase it with regular water to help balance things out. Because here's the thing, it's not about perfection, it's about patterns. What we do every day matters more than what we do once in a while. what I learned, and what I'd tell any woman over 50. Your smell is a signal. If your scent changes or starts to feel off, don't ignore it. It's your body waving a little flag, asking for a bit of help. Your drinks matter more than you think. Especially as we get older, when our liver slows down, our hormones shift, and our skin changes. Simple choices make a big difference. You don't need a 10-step detox. Just drink clean water, cut back on the chemical-laced stuff, and listen to your body. I've come to realize that smelling fresh isn't just about perfume or deodorant. It starts inside, with what we put into our bodies every day. These days, I can walk into a room with confidence. My clothes stay fresher longer. My skin feels cleaner, even after a long day. And I no longer obsess over whether anyone's catching a whiff of something sour. I feel more like me again, only better. And if I can get there with a few simple swaps, trust me, you can too. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more lifestyle tips and wellness advice, and leave a comment below if you've got any personal tricks to share. Let's keep the conversation going, because we're all in this aging, gracefully thing together.